Hi, and welcome to ShishaTime, our one viewer. Who is that?
Oh, yeah. I can't see the viewer counts. Can you?
Oh, I can. Is this like a special feature that the person but that's like backstage gets to see
What
only?
is this dictatorship? Give me
Sorry,
access.
yes. I have special privileges, only me.
Wow. Acknowledge them. Oh
I
my
am. I don't have a problem. Okay, what are we smoking tonight?
Grape mint. Thank you so much.
Interesting. I
What are
got
you
watermelon mint.
Ooh.
Yes.
Watermelon.
Show us that smoke.
Thank you. I will.
Curtia, are you smoking?
Unfortunately not. I don't have a permit to smoke in this building, so I will be without smoke tonight.
What do you mean? You're in Mississauga. That's like where all of
That's where it was invented.
Yes,
well, this building
actually
prohibits any sort of smoke of any kind, so
wow.
I cannot. I'm sorry.
I really appreciate that you follow the rules.
I want to get evicted again.
That's honestly fair. Yeah, yeah. Knowing me, I would do it and get evicted twice. People who are viewing, I don't know if you're on YouTube or Twitch or what, but you can talk to us in the chat, which we very much love. So please feel free to do that now or at any point.
Now.
Specifically now.
This energy today, Netta. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you've like gone too hard for like 3 days straight.
It's true. No time to waste. How many viewers are we at, Netta? I wish I could see that. Oh well.
Naz! Hi, Naz!
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi, Naz.
Naz, for those of you who don't know, is our other artist, part of the group show that's on right now, Contain. Hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't, you know where it is here. It's right there.
Corner. Whatever.
I know, we're like, where do the arrows go? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Cool. So yeah, you want to get started, Netta?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh my God, Tiffany, is that like an emoji? Chill with cat. I'm gonna just show that because I think somebody else might.
I hope it's a YouTube thing and then we can't see it.
I know, right? I'm like, I sound so ridiculous trying to figure out what that means.
Chill with cat.
Okay. Shall we start with the land acknowledgement?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dead Project's collective members, Dima and Neda, rest on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Chippewa, Wendat, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit. But Toronto is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. This land was signed under the Toronto Purchase Treaty number 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. After the most recent events in Palestine, particularly with what happened in Sheikh Jarrah, Dima and I can say for sure we're very moved, as were many folks. And many for the first time were just waking up to this particular issue, which is unsurprising given the heavy censorship around Palestine. As we continue to draw parallels between genocide and mass displacement on Turtle Island and Palestine and in many, many other places in the world, I have to remind myself that artists and activists have been boldly making these connections long before I have, and urging us to remember the interconnectedness of these struggles. So that brings me to this book, Talking to the Diaspora by Lee Miracle, a poet, author, and member of the Shtalo Nation in what is now known as Vancouver. And I come back to the book from time to time because it's a really, really beautiful collection of poems, but it felt particularly important right now as I was thinking about Palestine and Turtle Island, because on the dedication page, she writes, "For Mahmoud Darwish and the children of Gaza." She actually also wrote a poem about Darwish, who was a very famous Palestinian poet, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And it was titled Remembering Mahmoud, 1976. But that's not what I'm going to read tonight. I'm going to read a poem titled Maps, because I felt that it straddles and speaks to many places and peoples that have suffered genocide and displacement, while also, of course, coming from a place of very specific and personal suffering. Maps are orders marching men to old places already seen. Maps conjure memories of spoil, of plunder and innocence. Maps are journeys to illusions no one has learned from. Maps are critical revisits, visions of never before seen repeats. Maps direct intentions, call attention, and expose previous being. Maps scatter reflection and delude well-being. Maps flatten surfaces, time, distance, even height, reduce critical illusions to trails of ink and color. Maps are pretentious, arrogantly purporting to know where everything is, pretending power where none is. Maps are finite, maps are always old, maps never lead to uncharted places. Maps flip our attention from being to place, from metaphysical time to streets, roads, and clocks. Maps cheat our perspective response to depth. And that's it. I really encourage folks to check this out if you haven't yet. It's Talking to the Diaspora by Lee Miracle.
Wow, I feel like I should snap for you.
Not for me, for Lee Miracle.
I don't know, it's so nice. Your voice is so soothing. I'm Ned's biggest fan.
Oh my God, babe.
I was like, wow, should I go off camera? I don't know.
Okay, so before we move on, Tiffany has answered our pressing question about what this means. And apparently it's an emoji of a cat in a box. And she says, that's me and my cat chilling watching you guys. That's very cute. We're really happy that you and your cat are watching us.
Please send us a visual at any point through our DMs.
Or post it and tag DP.
Wash hands, Naz, wash hands, please. Okay, wash hands. Do what you gotta do, man. It's
Netta reads critical text ASMR. I will fund this project.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Canada Council.
An audiobook, if you will.
Dina?
Yeah, I'll just introduce our featured artist for tonight, Curtia Wright. So Curtia Wright is a multidisciplinary fine artist, mural artist, and arts educator based in Toronto, Ontario. She holds a BFA in drawing and painting from OCAD University. Her narratives focus on telling stories of Black peoples from the African diaspora, primarily speaking about her own heritage as a Jamaican Canadian. Her work questions society's indoctrinated beliefs of what femininity and Blackness are in relation to gender, while employing elements of sci-fi and fantasy. Wright's work is often autobiographical and inspired by pop culture, Caribbean mythology, and folklore. And we're so happy to have her!
Woo!
Yay!
Thanks, Curtia.
Thank you for having me, honestly. You two are so cool.
Oh my God, stop.
I'm not worthy.
Curtia, we're not worthy. Stop it.
Yeah, honestly, we're not. We're losers.
A little nerd.
No.
Before we dive in, we have to ask our classic question.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, tell us about your relationship to Shisha. Do you have one? If you don't have a relationship, why not?
Yeah, now that you're yoga. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been to a shisha bar. I've had, well, a lot of them got shut down around the time I was like looking into going to one with my friend. Like there was a ban on shisha around the time I was like, you know what, I want to get into this. It seems cool. But my fondest memory was my ex used to live at like I think Yonge and somewhere on Yonge, and there was a bar along Yonge.
Yeah.
At nighttime, folks would smoke shisha outdoors, and the smell of it, I remember, was so enticing. I'm just like, I want to go, but I don't know if I can. I don't know. Like, I didn't really smoke too, so I don't know. I just felt like it's such a weird thing because I felt like too there was a cultural barrier too. I just kind of felt like, am I allowed to go in and smoke shisha? But of course, like, what I've realized is it's a communal thing. It's something you do with friends, and it seems like a lot of fun. You know, I smoke on occasion as well. I like a nice fragrant smoke, so maybe one day I will maybe buy a pipe.
Fragrant. I love that you called it fragrant.
It smells so good. It's sweet. Like from my memories, it like smells nice and sweet. Yeah, like
it does.
We should take
it really
you.
doesn't smell like cigarettes. And yes, we should take you. Well, this has been like our big in the pandemic. We can't go to shisha lounges.
Yeah, just gotta do virtual. This. Yeah, do you do this often? Like one-on-one, like you just turn on Zoom or FaceTime and just smoke some shisha, not in an art talk setting, just like, you know, Friday night.
Yeah.
It started off that way. Like we would just like Netta would come over, I'd go to her place, and we would just smoke, and then we just like talk for like 900 hours. And then we just said, what if we also worked at the same time?
You know, constructive.
Yeah, I'm like, I got placements. Like I need to work and hang out. I can't just like I can't relax.
I'm the same way.
Workaholic.
I feel like, or I'm just like, sorry about the motorcycles outside. But I always feel awkward too. Like even if I'm at my friend's place, I'm just like, I need to be like watching something and like picking it apart, or I don't know, working, which is bad. I should just like
using your mind.
Yeah, I need to be doing something else. But
seriously,
I don't know if you ever noticed this, Curtia, at this lounge that you used to see on Yonge Street, but like there's always like one or two bros who will like have their hose like through their shirt, and they're just like smoking and like working away on their laptop, like doing like, I don't even know, whatever like intense work they look like they're doing. For all I know, they're like on iMessage, right? But they're just like smoke puff, like puffing and just going at it.
Literally, it's the best thing. Yeah.
There you go.
It sounds relaxing. Like it sounds relaxing. It's easy to hold, I feel. It's not like a spliff or a cigarette where you have to constantly be ashing it. Like it just seems relaxing activity.
Exactly. See, and this is how we bring you to the dark side.
Yeah. Oh my God. We want to so I mean, we'll ask you some questions, but first, Ned and I were like compiling a list because all the best places are in Mississauga. So I compiled a list for Netta. She was just like, take me to the best places because Netta wants to respect our practice. So we have a list of Mississauga places. So when things really settle down, we'll have a date.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah. Some nice lighting, you know.
Yes. Okay, back to business, y'all. So for our audiences at home who haven't had a chance to see the exhibit yet, which I hope is not the case, but just in case, do you want to tell us what your work is about?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. So as you mentioned in my artist statement, I am really interested in fantasy, mythology, and more recently, I thought to explore the mythology within my own background, which is Jamaican. So there's a few stories that my parents would tell me growing up, and one of them was about Mami Wata, or River Mama. And like very briefly, they brought it up. I don't think they knew that much about this particular piece of mythology, so I decided to research it. And I was just like, I just got really fascinated in the folklore around her and how much power she possessed, and how beautiful she was thought to be, and how that beauty enticed passerbys into her waters, where she would, drown them, and it's very brutal, but like drown them and devour them. And these tales were passed down by different folks in Jamaica and also other parts of the West Indies. These stories come from West Africa, other parts of Africa as well. And a lot of these stories too were told to children to prevent them from acting badly. So they say if you go too close to the water or if you don't go to sleep at night, River Mama is gonna take you down to her waters and stuff like that. So a lot of these pieces of mythology and folklore come from those stories, just to try to, keep kids well behaved, but they're so gruesome, along with many other pieces of folklore from different cultures I found. Like these pieces, like these stories that are told to children are like also very intense. So I thought I would just research and look more into her, and try to find my own, or try to think of my own interpretation of her. And I kind of landed on what you see on screen here. So I just thought about this almost video vixen-esque, like really sexual, sexy woman who is just going through the waters. I used a reference for this piece, and I cannot find the exact reference that I got it from, like the exact place I got it from, because I just collect images. But this one was just like the most fitting, so I used it. And I use digital manipulation as well. So I do collaging within my reference, so that when I paint it, it looks a bit more like my own. So for this one specifically, I wanted to do my own interpretation where it wasn't just kind of half woman, half fish, which a lot of interpretations of River Mama are. So I thought instead of doing, fish scales or a fish leg, I wanted to incorporate other sea creatures. And I was looking into sea creatures that have a lot of color, because a lot of the West Indies is very colorful, not only, the buildings, but the like the parades, caravana, and all that stuff. All the costumes too, with all the feathers, are very colorful. So I was like, what animal, what sea creature, embodies that type of like that color? So I found these really cool sea slugs, which are not the sexiest animal I know, but they're gorgeous, and they have these really punchy and vibrant colors, and they reminded me of those feathers on costumes. And I also was looking into like angelfish and all that stuff, which to reside in those areas. So yeah, I wanted to do my own interpretation, and I wanted it to be more so like a little bit more like sexual and like not as grim and scary as the tales depict her as. And yeah, I guess I can talk about the 3D aspect of everything as well.
Yeah.
So I started off by painting this piece on just a small wooden panel. And from there turned each layer into a vector, which Dima very talentedly created into this three-dimensional stage. I really wanted it to look like a set, sort of like when you go to the theater and you have that backdrop, and you have those things in the front of the backdrops. I don't know what they're called, but kind of like that different multi-layered stage type of thing. So I wanted the audience to kind of come into this room and feel like they're witnessing something happening in the moment. So she's just coming out of the water, and you have to avert your eyes from her reflection in the mirror. So yeah, if I could take it any further, I would love to animate it. Like that would be super cool, but I'm not skilled in that way, unfortunately. And yeah, it's a little bit about the piece.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. When I first saw this piece, I was just floored. I was like, I don't even know how she can make this like even more in depth. And then you were like, what if we did sort of like theater and like kind of like sets? And I was just like, yes, how did you even think of that? Like, I don't know. It was crazy. I was like, wow, like your mind really, that's what I like about a lot of the artists we work with, is like they're always still thinking about their pieces and like how to make it like just more interactive, more immersive, or like tell the story even more. And I think you did a great job. It was so fun to even just put this in here. Like the second it was done, I was like, no, you have to see this. Curtia's is insane.
It's funny because after
over you a lot.
Oh
yeah, we're obsessed with you. Just FYI, but whatever.
Really, I don't need my head to increase in
Yes,
size
you do.
anymore. As you can see, it's an issue. But I remember after seeing the rendering, I was so, I don't know, I was just like so amazed at the possibility and potential of this 3D augmented reality that it made me so excited to do more of them. And it also made me feel like I should have gone further with it. I'm like, I should have done the whole space green and marshy, so it felt like you were in her space rather than like cut out. But I guess there's always next time if I want to explore this route a little bit further. But yeah, like the potential of this is wicked. And I'm thinking about too in the real world and like physical galleries, how something would work at this scale, like painting kind of like a set in a space, like that would be super cool.
No,
I mean, honestly, it feels like she's on a stage though right now. Like,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying about it being immersive, but there's something about this that feels so perfect and so intentional. Like, yeah, like it couldn't have been better. Like the focus on her is really, really powerful, and I think really speaks to your concept around like Black femininity and like kind of like turning this tale on its head also, because she is typically portrayed as like an evildoer. Which, I mean, that's actually a question I have for you. Like, how different like do you find your interpretation of her to be? Or is this something that is happening where like these sorts of mythologies are being like reinterpreted or represented in different ways? Like, what's your experience of that, like generally in Caribbean folklore?
I think, like I mentioned earlier about a lot of these stories being used as devices to control children. And a lot of these stories were told by this very popular comedian in the 1970s and 80s, I believe, called Miss Lou. And she, maybe 1960s. And she used to tell these stories over the radio. So that's where my father specifically remembers hearing all of these stories. And he says, like, as a kid, your mind would go like in all places with that imagination, how these creatures would look. So I feel like it's one of those things that's up to interpretation and also up to your mind, because there's a childlike mind and an adult-minded person. So in my mind, I'm thinking of this creature as something or someone who has like this power in her sexuality that's unflinching and no remorse at all as to who she takes into the waters with her. So I think it changes dependent on, of course, the time, but also your frame of mind. And what I love about these stories is that it really does depend on your imagination and your frame of mind at the time you're told them.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I also love Netta, please.
No, go.
Respect your elders.
I'm so sorry, Elder Dina.
Thank you. I respect. Okay, so I just want to point out also how we played with the scale of your piece, because you mentioned like maybe you might even bring this into like a physical space, and I'm just like imagining like, because she's supposed to be this kind of scary thing, so imagine she was like even bigger, and you're just kind of like massive piece, and because scale really, it changes everything, right? Like it makes you scared because it's bigger than you. So the fact that this became a little more life size, I feel like it had such an impact on the viewer, and just going into the space, it's just I love it. I love it so much. I can talk about it forever.
And like one thing that you mentioned about scale, like I had this series in my mind for so long of these giantess women. Just I wrote a proposal. I didn't get the grant, but it was like a. Should I even spill the
Secrets?
but just like these spaces where I'm painting the walls, the floors, the ceiling of these giant elongated women. So you're just kind of wrapped around, when you enter the space, you're being kind of engulfed by these bodies. I just wanted to speak about myself being a woman who is very tall, very, very long. There are a lot of connotations that come with being in the body that I am. And I felt like I wanted to embrace that and celebrate like women who are taller and who like take up more space. Because growing up, it's one of those things like I've embraced now. Like I love being like almost 6 feet. It's fun. I have an advantage when I go to concerts, all that stuff. But like there was one thing people clowned you about. It was your height. It was the size of your hands, like stuff like that, where like it made me want to like shrink myself so small. And now in my adulthood, I'm just like, I would want to take up more space. Like I want to physically like take up more space. So I thought I wanted to do a show where it was like literally just taking up the entire gallery, like the entire space, and painting every orifice of the gallery. So like this idea is something that I've really thought about too, and like the potential of that. And I think seeing it in this virtual space just really makes me feel like it's possible. So I feel like this show in itself was such a really helpful experiment and like practice in what direction I can possibly go into.
Oh, I love that. No, that's really great, because that's kind of what
amazing.
we want. Like, yeah, we want the artist to feel like, you're not just stuck in something you learned in school or in practice, right? Like, you can move forward. It's okay. And we're like here to help. We're like, it's totally fun. And it's like so fun collaborating with you guys, because obviously you have that mindset already. So it's super fun for us. And I'm so happy it was a great experience for you as well. However, you said something about not getting it to your head, which reminds me, do you believe in astrology? If so, do you know your top three?
I do. I had CoStar for a quick minute, but it was becoming, like I felt like it was becoming too personal. Me and CoStar were not getting along. I had to delete it. I couldn't do it anymore. It was at the point where it was like reading my day-to-day. It was like, you're gonna do this, you're feeling negative because of this, and I'm like, I don't need to know this. Like I don't need to be confronted with my reality right now. So I'm a big believer. I don't know, I know I'm a Sagittarius, but I don't know where my sun and my moon and all that stuff is. But yeah, I do believe. I'm a believer.
We love Sagittarius. Yeah. Yeah, I've been told I have a Sagittarius fetish, and yeah, it's true.
Are you a Capricorn?
Me?
You were saying Capricorn earlier?
No, I have a lot of replacements. Yeah. I'm just obsessed with Capricorn. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Caps. I just have a lot of placements, but I'm actually an Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Water sign. All right.
No, damn, Curtia.
Air.
Get back on CoStar.
Oh,
yeah.
I totally know all of this. What they do. Because I'm thinking aqua. I'm like aqua, water, Aquarius.
Which is dumb, because we're like what do you call it? We're water bearers. We like give water, but I'm like, what's the point of this? But we're air, which is dumb. I think it's dumb.
Yeah, well,
I'm huge aqua, huge. Oh my god, well, that's upsetting. Yeah, I know. CoStar would attack me too all the time. It'd be like, your mom's dying. I'm like, that's not what? So I'm like calling her. I'm like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? This app told me you're not okay.
It's too much. And then you see those notifications like first thing in the morning, and you're like, okay, it's not how I want to start my day. Thanks, CoStar.
Exactly. I had to delete it. I'm like, it's getting too personal. I don't need this.
Yeah, exactly. So aside from your work with us, which seems like it was like a very specific kind of entry into digital platforms, I'm wondering like what has your experience with digital platforms or like making work digitally been before this, or was this kind of your first foray?
No, I've made digital work before. I was working primarily with Photoshop, which doesn't seem like a 3D platform, but there's also a 3D capability with the software. It's not the best, of course, but I was making these pencil crayon drawings and then pencil crayon portraits and turning them into these. They kind of look like inflated balloons, like kind of flat balloons. I was doing that for a bit. I took a 3D animation course at OCAD, and I fooled around with 3D Cinema Max and Blender. But I feel like I'm a very tactile person. Like I like to feel what I'm doing, and it just didn't really work out with me. I found too that the machinery that I was working on couldn't handle certain programs like Blender or 3D Cinema Max, so that was also a barrier as well. So I didn't really get too far into it. I wanted to do animations and all that stuff, but my computer would literally like melt down, get really hot and shut down. So it's for me. But I do love 3D animation. Or there's an artist right now on that I follow on Instagram. Her work is amazing. I'm forgetting her name right now because my brain is horrible, but she's been working with a lot of larger brands now, like Nike and Puma and all these people doing these really cool models of their shoes and adding animation in there and stuff like that. I would love to do, just doing these 3D models with really subtle animations going within the space. But I think I don't have the patience for the rendering, and I just don't have the technology.
It's so hard. It's so okay. So I work in digital spaces like every day, all day for work, and renders would take like 8 hours plus just for a render, and I'm like, this is disgusting, and I can't even imagine using my 2013 MacBook to even render a single like line. It's just so inaccessible. I'm like, how can we get how do artists even get access to this? Like those 3D artists, I'm like, this is insane. Like I see more from work is on this, but like I use my work computer to do a lot of stuff for Jet projects. I'm like, it's gonna melt. Like at one point I couldn't even load the last model from the first exhibition. Like my computer was like, I had to like tell Ned, I'm like, can you please check this? And she's like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know either. Like,
it's a big struggle.
It's really hard if you don't have the tools. I remember I used to start the render right before bed and like hope and pray my computer didn't melt down in the morning and hope everything was all good, because who has the time to just sit and watch their animation or whatever render, because you can't really do anything else on your computer while that's happening because it's taking up so much of the CPU. So it's like,
that's wild.
Is CPU the right term?
CPU,
maybe.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Just CPU. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
Acronyms, just throw them around.
Yeah.
Just like I know what this is. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised when you said that you wanted to bring an actual physical painting into the space, because I had seen some of your 3D work. But I actually feel like it was a great experiment because it worked out really, really well. Like the way that painting and the digital space like blended together in this, I think was like a very creative approach actually. So, I mean, a great solution to an actual problem, which is that our CPUs will melt if we try to do 3D work.
Yeah, I really wanted to though. I really wanted to make one of those 3D portraits, but I just knew my Asus couldn't handle it, so I didn't want to like gamble and not have something ready. So I was like, let me just get back to my oil painting.
We love it. We love it.
Also very rewarding.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know who we have to. Yeah, I know. Even for kind of we noticed when we were doing the grant process, there wasn't much room to even get kind of like equipment upgrades to do these kinds of things. And I'm like, well, this is a limit, you know, for us as artists or designers or whatever. And I'm like, this is unfair because you're, you know, holding back artists like yourself or whoever. And it's like, why? Just hook us up, man. We're trying to do cool shit. You're stopping. I'm blaming the nation, okay? Or whatever.
Those fucking councils. Just kidding. Thank you for funding us.
Yeah, sorry. We love you. I'll give you
Only speak nicely.
Thank you, CCA, OAC, TAC. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone else, fuck off. We don't care. Oh my gosh. So, Curtia, what kind of work that's out right now do you think is maybe a little too overrated for your taste? Yeah.
Keep spilling it.
I like
Yeah.
I like pretty much anything. That's a lie. When I saw this question, I was just like, there's one director that my partner loves, Jim Jarmusch. I feel like Jim Jarmusch is very overrated.
Yes.
He's overrated.
I
I don't know who this is. Can you just give us like the lowdown?
Yes, give us a lowdown.
Just like very long shots, very dry conversation. I guess like I'm not enough of a film buff to get it, but it's never been good to me. But that's just my opinion.
Is that like the Radiohead of film?
I think so. Yeah, that's a good. Well, I like Radiohead. I love Radiohead.
Sorry, oops.
He's like kind of those like quirky directors. He like kind of tries to make his film like fun and ironic with like really big actors like Bill Murray and stuff. So he has great cast, but like sometimes it doesn't
great
Oh,
hit the mark.
cast.
Yeah, the concepts are there. It's just I kind of agree. It's like missing something. It's just missing like personality.
Yeah, for
I
me
like
personally, but there was like a zombie. He came up with a zombie movie, and I tried watching it on Netflix the other day. I couldn't get through it. 10 minutes in, I can't do it.
That's what I was thinking of right now because I saw that one in theaters like 2-3 years ago, and I was really excited. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's just like I don't even know what it is, just fun zombie fun.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Michael Cera if it was a film type of thing.
You hit it on the head. Exactly.
Awkward. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
But I like Michael Cera.
I love Michael Cera.
He's so charming.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a little rat boy, but I love him.
A rat boy.
Yes, he looks like a rat boy. I wish we could pull up a picture just for like.
Don't say that about Michael.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
Scott Pilgrim.
Screen share.
He's Canadian, yeah.
Oh, nice. He's from Toronto, I think, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim, great movie. Love Michael Cera standing out. That's not cute.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, Netta, come on.
I do. Yeah, you know what? I'm just so bad with names. I'm like, who? But then when you said Scott Pilgrim, I was like, oh, yeah. I see what you mean. That rat boy. Oops.
Oh, that rat boy.
Speaking of work, Curtia, what are you working on right now? Are you willing to tell us, or is it a secret? Can we pull the secret out of you?
I would love to give you a long spiel about how I'm just in the studio day and night working, super hard. But the truth is, grind. Yeah, 24/7. I don't have a studio right now. Any work that I've been making has been like private commission based or mural art based, or like I haven't really been working on my personal stuff at all. Even like I used to sketch, I used to draw every single day. Haven't done that. Sketchbooks are collecting dust. I think it's just, I think I'm just not in the same headspace that I was before. Life just throws you like more and more responsibilities every hour. So I haven't really been able to really think in that way. And I don't like to make art if I'm not in that place. And that sounds really artsy and like, oh my God, I need to be at 50 degrees. I don't know what I'm saying, but like, like I feel like sometimes people like I can't really get over this hump right now where I need to be in this specific headspace that I was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. So right now I've just been focusing on client work, mural work, and teaching, and that has taken up most of my time. And I feel like if I'm doing all of that stuff and working on my fine art practice, the fine art stuff won't be as good. So I just kind of want to give myself the time and the space to make something when I really want to and I really can and have the capacity to, so I don't burn out as well, which is not fun. Yeah, so
that's fair.
I'm sorry. I don't have any.
No, that's okay. You don't have to be like a productive artist. Like fuck that, whatever that means. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, do you feel like the pandemic had anything to do with that, or you feel like it's literally just the restrictions around like not having a space, which is also very, very real for people who live like in and around Toronto?
Yeah, the pandemic has a lot to do with it too. Just pandemic, and also studio spaces are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And I was just like trying to make it work in my head, and it just it didn't really make sense for the type of work that I wanted to make. So it's just kind of a mix of everything. It's a mix of too, like where I'm at personally in my life as well. Again, like I mentioned, the responsibility factor is at 100. I can't like go out and do things willy-nilly anymore. Like I'm using words like willy-nilly, like I'm getting old. So I honestly like need to get in a better space before I start making work again. And I know exactly what I want to do. That's what is killing me right now, because I know exactly what I want to make, but I just don't have the space or the capacity to do it. So I'll just do small gouache paintings to just get ideas out. And so when I'm ready to do the big work, I at least have a framework, because usually I just work from nothing. I just go into the studio and start working. So I think it might be a little bit better for me, so that I actually have a foundation to base my work on, instead of just going in the studio, making something and being like, oh, this is about whatever. Like I'm thinking about it a bit more. Like this painting in the back here, this one, I started it last year, I think July or something. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do this series. And I was so motivated to do it. And then things happen and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. Like it's still unfinished. It's just on my wall just to remind me that I got to get some stuff done. But yeah, it's going, but it's in my head.
It's okay.
I got you. Yeah. Was just thinking that painting is so beautiful.
I know,
oh, thank you.
Seriously.
She watches me every day.
Oh no.
She judges
I'm
me
like,
every
that's
day.
Sweet. Dima's like, yikes.
Dima knows.
Yeah. Aquarius, Taurus.
Yeah. Like, oh God, eye contact.
Speaking
please.
of, Sarah said Aquarius is worse.
Okay.
And she sent her name.
Sada is bitter because I asked for construction boots and I said she was going to send me pictures. She didn't. So I said another Capricorn's giving me boots. So we're in a quarrel right now. So ignore her. Yeah.
Steel toe.
Make some steel toe.
Sorry, I showed this up and it's like a delayed reaction, but Naz was saying I relate to all of this, as in what you're saying, Curtia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Curtia, do you want to tell us, like, I follow you on Instagram. I look at everything you do every single day. Don't mind me. But I'm your painting in real life. But do you want to, are there any murals we can like check out, or are they like scattered around the province? Like, where can we go? Be like
province.
I don't know. I saw you in Quebec. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I was in Quebec for a hot minute, and they had these free walls, which are a really great initiative, by the way, where I think it's government mandated or something, but they set up these free-for-all walls around the city. The one I found was in the skate park, and you could just tag whatever, spray there, and if the cops come up, you won't get in trouble. It's a free wall, and they just prime it every couple of months, so new people can just go and tag, which will really help deter, tagging or whatever. But so I just did a little piece. What's the name of this place?
It's in Montreal.
Oh shoot, it's in Quebec. It's a skate park. It was called like Ile something. I don't speak French, but it was it was a skate park, and it had those Lego walls. I should have more information, but I forgot. Sorry. So we didn't plan to go there. It was just like a spur of the moment thing. We saw them and we're like, oh, it's, practice my hand style. I don't know. But yeah, I've only done murals in Toronto. I hope that changes soon. It may next year. We'll see. But you can find my murals more so in the downtown core. I just did one on Oakwood, 524 Oakwood, on a beer store. And I did one for the Lansdowne Underpass project, right at Lansdowne and Dundas. And yeah, I have like smaller ones on bell boxes and stuff around.
Nice. So those are super. We can like literally just go see them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We have a field trip. Yeah.
In case folks missed that.
Yeah, you don't need to sign it.
Write it down.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing mostly mural projects. There's one going up soon. It's going to be an augmented reality mural project, which I've never done before, but I've already painted it. It's going up where the new Love Park is. There's some construction down by the waterfront. They're creating this Love Park. So
Love Park, like love.
Yeah, Love Park. It's called Love Park.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. What is Love Park?
Yeah, it's new. They're gonna do a little heart fountain in the park somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did these letters LOVE. Whoa. Spelled love wrong.
How do we spell
LUVE? And they're gonna be animated. So if you put your phone up to them, the patterns will start to move around, and it will play audio from different people's interpretations of what love means to them. So that's going to be coming up very soon. Really excited for that.
You're very good at letting us know when these are happening. So y'all should follow Curtia at Curtia. She's so cool that it's literally just her first name at Curtia. She's like Cher.
Yeah, no one else has this name, thank God. Yeah.
You're like, only I can take that spotlight.
Yeah. I was surprised though, and I was like, Curtia, let me just, because it was Curtia Coven before, or COVN. I had a jewelry brand back in the day called Coven. Yeah. That's how I made my
did not know this.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah, when I was in OCAD, some of it was really cringy. It was like the horrorcore stuff, like upside down crosses and like
I'm dead.
Like pentagrams and stuff like that.
We all go through that phase, yo.
Oh yeah. You should have seen me in OCAD. I used to wear black lipstick and like knee-high socks with like short skirts. When I think back, I'm like, how did I get like from Scarborough all the way down to OCAD every day without feeling like uncomfortable? But I was so confident. I was like,
dedication.
I can never do that now. I think I was like a little bit more comfortable in what I was doing back then, because I could not.
I love that. I had a witchcraft book for no reason. Like, what was I doing with that? Yeah, right. My mom's like, why did you buy this?
Yeah, I had the Necronomicon.
Oh, yeah.
Listen.
Did you? Do you still have it?
Yeah, Naz. Yeah, I do. I had to hide it. I forgot who came over. Someone saw it. They were like, "Why do you have this? Like, it's like a cursed object." And I'm just like, I don't really believe in that stuff. I just had it because I wanted to look through it.
Because you want to look,
I want to look goth. I would carry it to school. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm studying my spells. Like,
yeah, such an early art school kid vibe. Yeah. Trying to be eclectic, trying to like be unique, trying to show up, have a presence.
And that Tumblr's still out there, and I keep it up there to remind myself of that time in my life.
Just to humble yourself.
every single time I feel like I'm, woo, feeling myself, I go back to that Tumblr and I'm like, nah, sis. Like, remember where you were at 21? No.
Yeah, that's what I had it too. Same time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I was like leaving because I like left. I didn't leave home, but I was going to school, so I was out of that fishbowl environment. I'm like, I'm a person. What?
Yeah.
And then you just go too far. Like,
oh my god, that's amazing.
you gotta do that stuff when you're young. No, I just watch movies.
Yeah.
I just watch movies, eat popcorn, play with my dog. Like I'm super boring.
Wholesome shit.
Very wholesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna bring up our iconic marry, fuck, kill question, and we think you would be really good at this one. So, marry, fuck, or kill, LinkedIn, Indeed, or the classic newspaper.
LinkedIn, Indeed. I think I would marry LinkedIn because they have their shit together and they're professional. Like they can, we can buy a home together. I would
it's rough.
Fuck. What was it? LinkedIn, Indeed. Fuck Indeed.
I'll put it on the
screen. They seem like, Indeed, because I feel like, they're working multiple jobs. Like they're just trying to get it together. They're a bit risky, a little bit of a bad, seed. And I would kill the newspaper because print is dead.
Wow.
Oh,
shit.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
Yo, that got dark.
I'm kidding.
I'm
joking.
You're like, print is dead and we're not bringing it back. Just kill it.
I'm kidding. I love a good, physical paper in my hand. I'm joking. Yeah, I do. I do.
Oh.
I don't like ebooks. I like a paper. What about you?
But like the newspaper?
I haven't read a newspaper in years. Like flip through. I've done I don't really read the news aside from social media because the news has its own agenda. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't. What about you, too? What do you do?
Ooh.
How would you slice it?
I would marry the newspaper. Because it was rich at one point. It has that old man aesthetic, and we all have our we don't like
distinguished.
Old men well.
Yeah. I was gonna say if you like old men.
Yeah.
Marry the newspaper. Or fuck the newspaper. Hey, I don't know.
No, that's disgusting. You don't do that to someone you marry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I would
fuck the newspaper.
Oh my god, I would kill LinkedIn probably because the amount of recruiters that are there is too much. LinkedIn is like Tinder for jobs. Like it's too much. People are coming at you.
True.
I don't need any of this.
Yeah.
Indeed, I don't want to touch, but I guess I'm left with it. I would get down and dirty with Indeed because
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you a good time, They might not get you the job, but
they ask you questions to get to know you. Like it's nice.
Yeah.
I totally see what you mean. Like it's like a hot mess. It's like that person where you're like, ooh, you're not forever, but like right now, yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Love the way we personified these professional spaces.
Yeah. Indeed also makes me feel good because I feel like I could be anything it gives me. Like if it's like forklift operator, I'm like, I could do that. And it's like, yes, you can apply right now. I'm like, I will. Like it just gives me confidence.
Sandwich artist.
Yeah, okay, so this brings us to the end of Shisha Time. Curtia, thank you so much. This was such a blast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And remember, the exhibition is live at deadprojects.ca. It's on until the rest of the month. Go see it. Let us know what you think. And also give us a follow on Instagram if you haven't already, and DM us, spam us, do whatever you want to do. We love it. We love all the attention.
We do.
And remember that tomorrow night we have another Shisha Time with Kaya Joan, and it's also going to be at 8 p.m. So super easy, same time, same place. We will see you there. Thanks again, Curtia, and have a good night, everyone.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.